Thanks for joining us. Now, we've just heard the Revolutionary Guard say the shooting down of this drone has sent a clear message to the US. Can you tell us what that message is?
We have indeed. This was the head of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Major General Hossein Salami, who said that Iran's borders were a red line, and today's shooting down of the U.S. drone was a message to the U.S. that any aggression would result in a crushing response by Iran. Major General Salami also stating that Iran is prepared for war, but perhaps more importantly, the senior military official saying Iran does not want war, which is a statement that U.S. officials have uttered as well. A little bit more detail about what happened this morning. The shooting down of the drone by Iran's Revolutionary Guard. They described the drone as a surveillance drone. This drone was not an attack drone. It was not weaponized. It had a span of about 40 meters. Iran has shot down U.S. drones before. And we should point out that there's conflicting reports about how this and where this drone was shot down. The U.S. Is saying that the drone was shot down in international waters. Iran saying that the drone was shot down over Iranian territory. So all of this, of course, coming amid heightened tensions between the U.S. And Iran. Several days ago, of course, a number of oil tankers were attacked. The U.S. claiming it was Iran. Iran still firmly denying that.
And we mentioned the recent incidents in the Strait of Hormuz. That's an extremely important energy route. About a fifth of the world's oil passes through there. Can you tell us about some of the international interests at stake and Iranian interests too?
Yeah, you stated the interest. About a fifth of the world's oil supply moves through this very narrow strait that's about 30 kilometers in width. The is between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. So obviously, any impediment to this strait will wreak havoc to the global oil markets. Obviously, it would raise oil prices in the West, in the U.S. The U.S. doesn't want that. One of the major interests of the U.S., especially in the Strait of Hormuz in this region, is the free flow, free navigation. And if they see an impediment in free navigation, they have warned that they're going to respond. In April, right before U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal, there were some Iranian officials who suggested that that may be an option of Iran closing down the Strait of Hormuz. We haven't seen any further statements, but obviously this is a region, the Strait of Hormuz, important for Iran and the international community.
Now, in terms of the Iranian position on the drone incident this morning, it does seem exceptionally coordinated, a consensus between all branches of power there. Can you give us some of the details on that?
Yeah, the consensus has been in place for a number of months, ever since U.S. President Donald Trump came into power, threatened to pull the U.S. Out of the Iran nuclear deal, and eventually doing so. All political factions, moderate fundamentalist principles, have been united in responding to the maximum pressure campaign from Washington in this instance as well. And it just highlights that when Iran's security is at stake, both moderates and fundamentalists here in Iran, who have very serious differences, all unite in response to this pressure.